Welcome to Blue Heron Hill. I'm Sue, and gardening season hasn't ended yet. The last few videos I've been talking about fall gardening. So today is going to be my version of fall gardening in my Greenstalk planter. There's not much in it right now. During the hot weeks, days of summer, most of the lettuce is bolted. You can see there's a few here that have bolted, sending up a flower stalk. I am going to be pulling all of these out. A few of them have still some marigolds in it. Here, if you can see this one here, this is a coneflower. I started some coneflowers. These I will take out and I will plant them in my perennial beds. This down here is, I think it's a calendula. So there's a lot still going on in my Greenstalk garden. This here is celery. I harvested a few stalks off of it. It didn't grow as well as I thought it might. It's rather stunted, but I am going to take the leaves and dry them and make some celery powder to be able to put in soups and stews in the winter. What else do I have here? More marigolds. I'll probably save some of these seeds. And here's another coneflower here, another one here, a couple down there. Anyway, so what I'm going to do, a little interference, we've got some helicopters going over. Let's wait a moment. Okay, they've gone. We get a lot of helicopter traffic. Anyway, first year on the Greenstalk garden, I think I had moderate success. I had a lot of lettuce that I harvested from here. But with the hot weather, it all went to seed. And to do is take this apart. Haven't done it yet, but everybody says it's so easy. So you start by taking the water reservoir off the top, and then each successive layer will come off. And then I'll do one layer at a time. I'll dump out all of this soil. It's still good soil, but it needs to be revitalized a little bit with some more nutrients, maybe just an all-purpose fertilizer. And I'm gonna mend it with some light, fluffy soil. So, because it has compacted with all of the, the water constantly running through it, and it needs to be fluffed up and aerated a little bit. So I'll take off one layer at a time and redo it. Now, in my climate, I have my first frost date is around the beginning of October, if everything holds true to what they say. But that's average anyway. This is not going to stay in this location because what I plant in it, which I intend to plant lettuces and maybe some kale and beets and spinach in it, that won't last out here for very long. Even though they'll be cold tolerant plants, it still needs more protection. So this is what I plan to do. Okay, what I plan to do is move it inside my greenhouse where it should have good cold weather protection on into December if I can keep the cold weather at bay. Right now, I do have to clean it up a little bit. It's a little on the messy side. It just became a bit of a catch-all place. So what I'm going to do is, I have a nice stable board down there on the bottom of my gravel floor, and that's where I am going to place my Greenstalk. still will be able to swivel around. It has a vent in the upper part of the roof, and the door can be either opened or closed depending upon how warm or cold it is. So that's my plan. I hope that my Greenstalk will bear some more nutritious leafy lettuces for us to eat on into the late fall months. So come with me, let's get started and let's dig in the dirt. I just dumped this one out, and you can see how fibrous it is down here. So you really shouldn't be planting a next crop when your soil is already inundated with a mass of roots. Now these roots are good. They'll be great in a compost pile, so I will push those to the side, but I'm going to break up all this soil and pull out as much of this root mass as I can. You can almost hear it pull apart. It's the same when you have potted plants from year to year. Always change out your soil, or if you don't fully change it out, at least break it up, fluff it up, take some of this root mass out so it gives the next generation of plants that you plant in here more room to grow. All of these roots have been depleting the soil of the nutrients, so that's why I'm going to be adding some fertilizer in this. Look at that, is just one heavy root mass. Now, this is an excellent time to go to your garden store and pick up potting soil. This, I think I picked up 2 bags for like $6. Normally, I think they're like double that. So normally they're like, I think they were $9.99. This is just a Miracle-Gro potting mix. It's very lightweight. So it has a lot of perlite in here, peat or cocoa coir or something like that in there to keep it nice and light. I'll probably make this almost a half and half mixture here. That would be great. So, I'm just going to place it back into my tier, nice and light and fluffy. I have a nice, there we go, nice all-purpose fertilizer. It's Trifecta by M.I. Gardner. I've had very good luck with this for a number of years. It's the 5-10-4. 5, of course, is the nitrogen, that's for the leaves. Phosphorus, the 10 is for roots, and then 4 the potassium for the flowers and fruits and stuff. So I will put a little bit over the top of this, and then just lightly mix it in to give those seedlings, when they sprout and start growing, just a little bit of nutrition back to this soil that's been depleted from my crop in the spring. Well, I ran out of time yesterday. I did manage to get all of these filled, but I didn't have time. I lost my daylight. But today I've got to plant the seeds. So in the top tier, most all of these are going to be lettuces. In a previous video out in a raised bed, I have a fall garden planted that I'll be able to cover with row covers and plastic to extend that particular bed. I'm hoping that perhaps Mother Nature will be on my side and I can have lettuces and spinach and beets and stuff into December. But right now, right in here, mostly the same as what I planted out there. Spinach at the top tier, a couple different kinds of radishes in this tier, a radish here with probably more lettuce, and then the bottom two tiers will be lettuces, red lettuce, mostly small headed lettuces, and some, I think this Merlot is a leaf lettuce. So let me get going and plant this up. When you plant in a Greenstalk, you should plant close to the edge here. And most of these lettuces, I will be planting fairly heavily and then thin them out, because then I can use those little baby greens to eat, so nothing goes to waste. So let me get digging in the dirt. All right, there we go. I'll plant it up. Fingers crossed that we'll get a good harvest off of this Greenstalk in the coming winter months. Now, can't forget that I do need to water this. It will not get any rain from or moisture from the atmosphere, so I am going to have to be watering this at least every other day, if not daily, because the greenhouse will get warmer and the soil will dry out. And you need to keep these plants very well hydrated. So let me give it a drink of water. It said when you see water coming out of the drain pipe over here, then it's received enough water. And I don't see any quite yet, but since it is a brand new with no moisture, I do see it dripping on each one of the levels. And not quite this one yet. But when I plant new seeds in this, I just like to give them a little mist on the top. Okay, my Greenstalks all planted, all watered. Hopefully those seeds are starting to absorb some of that water, and pretty soon they'll be bursting out. It's been a rather cool day here. Last night it got down into the high 40s, maybe about 48, 49. So I'm going to close up this greenhouse. Hasn't been closed up all summer long. I'm just going to build some heat in here, warm up this soil, because the soil has been, out in the natural atmospheric temperatures. So it's a little cool. So these seeds are probably not going to want to do too much. So I want to kind of warm things up, get things going so they are off to a good start. So I'll bring you back and let you know how this is doing. If you have a Greenstalk and if you've gardened in the fall, put it down in the comments below. I'd love to hear how it did for you. Do you garden in the winter in this? I'm in zone 6A, so that's in New York State. We're up against Lake Ontario. The lake keeps us a little bit warmer than the surrounding area because it's a large body of water and the temperatures don't fluctuate very quickly. So I'm hoping that inside a greenhouse, in this Greenstalk, I'll be rotating it, I'll be watering it. Anyway, I have high hopes for this system to give us a little green vegetables well into the fall and maybe even into the winter. So if you're new to my channel, thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and share on all your social media platforms. And until the next time that we can go digging in the dirt, happy gardening. Bye.